Hi, Angie. Welcome to If Innovation Could Talk.
Hi, Eva. Nice to be here. Thanks for having me.
Pleasure. Now, Angie, you seem to live and breathe environment and sustainability both in your professional life and in your community work. They are slightly different because one is in water and fertilizer management, and the other is a cafe. Now, firstly, tell us about your work in water management.
Yep. Okay. Well, I work for an exciting scale-up. It's called SWAN Systems, where the product is there to help optimize the use of water and plant nutrients. So the idea is to minimize wasting those precious resources. So the customers we have are like farms, schools, golf courses, city councils, basically anyone with large-scale watering needs. And personally, my role there is I prepare aspects of the company for future growth. So I streamline business processes. And yeah, it's been great working with the founders. You know, they had the drive and the hard work to create the product, and I'm happy to do my bit to help it go from strength to strength.
That's wonderful. And tell us about this international movement that you are part of. You founded a repair cafe as part of this international movement to reduce landfill. Tell us more about it.
Okay, so repair cafes are community events where the public can bring in broken items from home, and they can work with a volunteer who's an expert repairer to try to fix it. So the idea here is to not only save that item from landfill, but also to try to teach some of the important repair skills and keep them alive in the community. And also by way of the community events, we're trying to, grow that sense of connectedness between people in the community.
That's fantastic. I almost sense an element of teaching someone how to fish, and in this case, how to repair and rebuild a more sustainable world. What are some of the impacts you have seen?
Yeah, well, I just looked up, just before I chatted to you, how many repair cafes there are. There's 2,118 in the world.
Wow.
So that's a lot of access people have to these repairers in their own communities. And a few years back, in the International Repair Cafe Foundation's annual report, they stated that over 250,000 kilograms of waste had been diverted just that year alone from landfill by repair cafes. So when you consider that the movement's been going since 2009 and it's just growing year on year, the impact is quite staggering, really. So yeah, and we're doing our bit here in Perth. We have looked at and worked on over 2,000 items since we opened our doors.
And how does this make you feel to be a part of something that is growing and so important?
Yeah, I feel like it was worthwhile starting the repair cafe. I guess I feel nothing but like strong admiration for the volunteers that have stepped up, for roles in organising the event and the organisation. I feel admiration for, the repairers. They're so generous with their time, and they are so talented, and they're just the most friendly people you could meet.
What advice would you give to someone so they too can do their part for the environment?
I think it's quite a journey to change your lifestyle to live as sustainably as possible. It starts with being really conscious of your impact on the world and trying to leave as small a footprint as you can. Maybe starting with something quite simple like single-use plastic is a good one. Because, it's so obviously bad, and it can be quite a process. I think you might have to get rid of stuff that you're used to. You might have to break long-term habits or change your preferences. But look, once you start making some progress in that area, it kind of gets you in the zone, I think. It sort of primes you for future challenges. So, yeah, I think single-use plastic is the one that I would target first.
That's fantastic. Lastly, why is innovation important to you?
Innovation, I think, is super important because it's what keeps us moving forward. It's a little bit like compound interest. It keeps building on itself. So if you have great innovation, it can lead to even better innovation in kind of an exponential way. I also feel that technology is something that and innovation is something that can keep improving us. So the innovations we make are usually permanent. So if you take, for example, something like the invention of the solar cell, or maybe like gene sequencing, these innovations, they keep the knowledge around, and we can keep using them to improve, the way that we live. And not just improve how we live, also I think it helps us to keep doing what we're doing at less cost. So for example, SWAN Systems, where I work, we're managing water intelligently. And so as a result, the farms that use SWAN Systems can keep producing the same amount of food, they can keep feeding the same amount of people, but they just do it for less cost in terms of money and precious resources. So it's a winning situation.
Angie, thank you so much for being a part of If Innovation Could Talk.
Oh, thanks, Eva, for having me on. I really enjoyed it. And hopefully we'll see you maybe at a Repair Cafe event in the future.
I look forward to popping in and bringing friends along with me.
Great. Thanks. Thanks, Eva.